Hello. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good Friday afternoon. Let me just wait and see if it will give me the all clear. It's thinking, it's thinking. There we go. All clear. So, hopefully, the video and the audio are going to work for you today. It is Friday evening, afternoon. What time is it? It's mid afternoon here. I have a lot of paperwork around, so excuse the paperwork and the boxes and all of that. But how is your Friday? I hope your Friday is going well. So here it's bright, it's beautiful, it's sunny. It's still quite cool. We're about between -10 and -15, but the sun is getting warmer and it is a lovely winter day. So a lot of people out and about. But my energy is a little wacky today, so I thought I would come on in the afternoon and just do some general readings, talk with the cards, chat with people, and see what wants to come up. So I'm not going to do any individual readings today unless something really, really wants to come up. But I just wanted to touch base and say hi. I don't think I was on live last week. Fridays seem to go very quickly these days. So I just wanted to come on and be like, hello, how are you? And remind you that I exist and that this is what I do. So hi, Nancy. Welcome. And so for those who don't know me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I am a BlueWater Oracle in all of my social media, so you're welcome to follow me here on Instagram, on Twitter, where else am I? Pinterest, YouTube. I'm not super active with videos, but I am on YouTube. So I'm not doing individual readings today. Just wanted to come on and to do a general hello and to do some general cards and touch base with a few topics and to see how everybody is and to bring in some support. So sometimes doing general cards is valuable because it brings us a different way of thinking about things, of feeling, of touching base, and maybe receiving messages that we wouldn't necessarily ask ourselves. It's a different energy for me. So when I do general cards, it's really different than doing individual. And as I said, my energy feels a little bit wacky today. So I thought I would just come on and do some general. So you're more than welcome to come in, hang out, watch us later as you prefer. So here in Canada this week we had Bell Let's Talk Day, which is a day that is promoted by Bell Corporation, Bell Company, and it's all about mental health and wellness and mental health services and speaking out when you need help. So I put this out on my newsletter yesterday. So for anybody who's not on my newsletter, you can go to the post previous to this one and you'll see my newsletter there and you can sign up for it. And I just had a general chat. I just wanted to have a general chat about mental health and reminding ourselves about being patient with ourselves, having some compassion. Also looking at it from, good for you if you reach out for help, no matter what it is. A reminder too that intuitive work is not a replacement for conventional therapy, for working with therapists, for working with your medical practitioners, but it is an adjuvant. To me, it's a team player. It's part of the processes that can help people because it sees things differently than classic psychology. And it doesn't mean that one is better than the other, they're just different. So they can work together. And wouldn't that be an amazing world when we're able to have things like classic Western science working with alternative and complementary strategies to help the individual with whatever they're going through, whether it is a brain chemical imbalance, whether it is a past life issue, whether it is a current life issue, whether it is not connecting with their emotions or connecting too much or just needing help and support in their daily lives. Wouldn't that be amazing? So that's the kind of vision I have and I hold, and I hope that we'll be able to get there. Hi Joy, hi Marianne, welcome. Happy to have you here. So just doing some general chat, general cards. So for those who didn't see that newsletter yesterday, if you're not on my newsletter mailing list, I pulled a card also around mental health and the mental health journey. And this was the card I pulled, Purification. So you can go check out that reading in the newsletter yesterday. And it says my energy field is being cleansed of all I do not need. So it really brought into the perspective, okay, what do I need to be cleaning up for myself? And it doesn't mean that it's putting out judgment. It doesn't mean that it's saying that you have done something wrong that has led to mental health issues. But it's helping us to see that, okay, well, is there something that I could be doing that would also be helpful to me? And if I know what it is, but I can't get it done, then that's also a way that I can ask for help. So maybe it is conventional cleaning because there's a lot of information about a cleaner home, helping immune systems, helping breathing, helping brain energy, emotional energy, and just being able to find the stuff that you need when you need it. Like that's great, right? That takes off an anxiety as well. So maybe that's part of it. Or maybe it's something that is from a past situation that you went through that you're still holding on to. And it's time, something within you is saying, you know, it's time for me to let go of this. It's time for me to release and cleanse that from holding on to it too tight or for too long. So those are some of the ideas that came up with this reading yesterday. But I thought I would come on to a live and expand a little bit on the energy that's around now. Maybe expand also on the idea of mental health. Because it is so important. It's so vital for all of us. It ties in with physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. They're all really interconnected. At least I believe they are. To say that one is dramatically more important than the other, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure. I think they all interconnect. So you can let me know what you think on that as well. Hi, Annie, if I didn't say hello already. So here we are on Facebook, the land of social media, and we're just going to do some general cards. So if you have already liked my page, thank you so much. If you have not liked my page, I would love for you to do that. I'm working my way up to 1,000 likes. It's a slow and interesting process, but I am hoping to get there. I have more than 1,000 for followers, but I believe that likes also makes a difference in the social media world. I think you get to see more things, although I could be completely wrong on that. But I would love for you to like, and sometimes people get invited, but if they don't say yay or nay, then the invitation just sits there and waits and waits. So you can check, do you already like it? Do you follow it only? What works for you? And I'm happy to have you here. So before I get into that, I also just wanted to touch base that I did a great reading special at the beginning of the year, looking at the new year, looking at what we need to let go of, what the next few months are bringing. So I'm thinking about if I might do a special for February and probably around relationships, because that's a big topic that comes up in February. And in some information I've learned recently about numerology, I believe that too has a lot to do with relationships as well. So it adds to the whole February thing, and maybe that's where it came from originally. So I'm going to look at a reading option and see. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, it could be all different kinds of relationships. I'm going to see how the reading wants to come through, and keep an eye out for that, of course. And if you are in need of a reading, if you are in need of looking at what's going on in your life, seeing different perspectives, getting that connection between brain, body, spirit, soul, bringing your intuitive insights forward, bringing your sacredness forward for your own journey, feel welcome to give me a call or send me a message or send me a text or an email. All right. So my email is bluewater100@gmail.com, or of course you can message me here, and I would love to set up a private session with you. We're doing them all online now. Super fun, work just as well as in person. So I will look forward to working with you. So let's get some other energy going on maybe mental health. All right. Now, of course, if you're somebody who's going through something acute, something intense, a crisis, please do not wait for a reading. Please get in touch with a call center, an emergency center, call your health practitioners. If you have a doctor that you can contact, if you have a psychologist, psychotherapist who you can contact, please get in touch with them. If you have family, if you have friends who you can turn to, please get in touch with them as well if you're in crisis, because you're valuable and you're worth it. And knowing that we need help is really important. And I think most of us can say we've been through that at some point in our journey, right? But sometimes it's bigger. Sometimes it's more of a crisis and we need more help and we need more urgent help. So please don't wait. Please don't wait. Go and get that. You can look up Kids Help Phone in Canada. Even though it's Kids Help Phone, they do have a number to text or I believe to call for adults as well as children. So that is a page that I follow here on Facebook, Kids Help Phone. It's out of Canada. So you might have an equivalent where you are if you're in a different part of the world. Okay. There are also suicide watch hotlines if you're in real desperation or if you know somebody who is, and they will have trained practitioners. We also have a community health number that people can call if they're in need of immediate advice on where do I go and who do I work with. There's a community number that people can call here. So lots of resources, but half the time it's remembering them when you need them. And so I do every once in a while on my personal timeline share the numbers that people can call. Our member of parliament here has been sharing lots and lots of information about mental health. So maybe yours has as well. So you can check in with that also. Okay. And feel welcome. Please share resources on your page. It's not one day a year that we need to be doing this. So on your own timeline, on your own pages, find some groups that you follow who are really good at mental health support, and then share their posts if you don't feel like coming up with a post. And so I also share in the West Island region of Montreal, there's a group of psychologists, social workers, trauma therapists, and they're called Yogology, because they also do yoga. They also believe in mindfulness, which I love as a combination. So I follow their posts on Instagram as well as on Facebook, because they do a lot of really good pertinent shares, and are highly, highly valuable. I find them highly valuable. So maybe you can find some others. Oh, and I also found a mental health, just chatting about this. I was snooping, as I do on Facebook, and I found, what are they called? Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. Is that what it is? In French, it's Médecins Sans Frontières. I think in English, it's Doctors Without Borders. And I saw that on Wednesday of this week, they did put out a post about a pamphlet or a workbook that they have with some mental health things. So I'm going to share that as well on my own personal timeline. I might share it on here too. I'll have a look on it as well. But you're more than welcome to follow me on my personal timeline. You'll see different stuff that I post when I post publicly. So it's just Sheila Bicknell, Bicknell, if that's of interest. Feel welcome to follow me there. All right, so I'm pulling a card to continue this conversation, because we know that when it comes to mental health, to wellness, to getting the support, it is all about keeping the conversation going, so that when people need to talk, it is more open to them, it's more available to them. It isn't that it gets talked about one day of the year and then the rest of the time nobody talks about it, so then when you need it, you don't want to talk about it because there's no opening. So we want to create that opening professionally as well as intimately with people, right? Now, for anybody who's wondering, like, why am I talking about this? Well, because it's really integrated with intuitive work. I find it is, because we're always seeing people when they're questioning stuff. And sometimes it's big, really big life stuff that they're going through. But also, my background is in clinical nutrition. I'm a registered dietitian. I had my own private practice for 20 years, working with clients who had a variety of health, wellness, nutritional, weight management needs. So those were real issues also. You know, just being diagnosed with something like diabetes or heart disease, going through major digestive issues, struggling to put on weight or to lose weight, to reduce weight, right? To manage blood pressure. Like, these were real conditions. And sometimes they came about because of big, big, huge events in their lives. And so then I would guide them through nutrition. So I'm well aware of different components. Emotional eating is something I spoke about in my newsletter yesterday as well. So, you know, emotional eating brought on by what? By stresses of life, by the life journey, by not having the resources, so turning to food, by not connecting with our emotions and therefore feeling overwhelmed, right? There's lots of reasons. So that's one of the reasons why I do usually, I believe, around this time of year, and do some discussions on it, if not more often. And often after the day. So here in Canada, as I said, on Wednesday, it's a big day. Most of the country talks about wellness, mental health, and wellness and needs. And so here we're 2 days later, and all of a sudden the conversations is done. So that's why we're keeping it going. So I encourage you, please, wherever you are, no matter what country you're in, please keep a conversation going, inviting people to talk about mental health, wellness, men, women, children, young people, everybody, seniors, absolutely so important. So the first card that I pulled yesterday, while I was writing a bit about this for my newsletter, was a purification card. Let me read the affirmation again. And it says, my energy field is being cleansed of all that I do not need. Okay. And if this conversation is valuable to you, feel welcome. Share it. Feel welcome, right? Maybe nobody else wants to sit and chat with me. That's okay. But if it could be helpful, if it could be valuable, just to remind that, hey, you're not alone. There's a lot of people chatting about this and a lot of people who need to chat about it, but are not yet. So then our next card brings in, as of course it does from the gorgeous Earth Magic deck, it brings in the tree, the grounding card. So the Purification is from the Soul Coaching Oracle cards, and this one's from the Earth Magic. So see, tree grounding. So that very much that balance. So where do we need balance in life? From the rooting down into the earth, that groundedness, that taking a breath and connecting, to recognizing what is above us, what is in the experience, what is in the ethers, what is in the soul energy, in our dream time, what is in our spirit energy, what is in the universal energy around us. But then also that reminder of this natural world, right? The tree, the land, the water, the birds, the animals, the creatures, the insects, the sunshine, the clouds, it's all a part of it. So that connection to breathe in and to ground and to be in the moment. So being outside, especially during the height of the sun in the day, especially for those of us in the northern hemisphere where we're in darker times in terms of climate and daytime, nighttime. So having some of that to reset, to remind ourselves that, oh, I'm in the daytime. So you can see from my window up here that it's really bright outside because we've got snow, so it's very, very bright, reflecting. But we need that to remind ourselves that, oh, okay, it's in the afternoon now. It's still bright outside, especially if you're stuck in an office, if you're in a basement, if you're in a room with no windows, then remind yourself of that, because otherwise your mind can seek, what time is it? Where am I? What's going on? So bring in that natural connection. Hi, Karen, welcome. So I am a firm believer here too that we are deeply connected to the natural world, probably way more than we recognize, that most people recognize. And so bringing that back in can be something for our health and our wellness. So do you need a walk? Do you need to step outside and feel the sun, feel the breeze? Do you need to be outside when it's raining so you get that natural kind of purification, purifying, cleansing feeling, that rejuvenating? Or do you need something else related to nature to nurture you? Is it connecting with houseplants? Maybe you have pets. So what do you need that relates to the natural world? And remember that there are cycles. So if I'm not mistaken, we're coming up towards a new moon cycle. So some people will feel really different about that than a full moon cycle. Different months. We're shifting into the Chinese New Year. So it's going to be the year of the tiger, a water tiger, I believe. So it will come with different energy. I learned recently in numerology that we go through cycles, right? There's a 9-year cycle. Who knew? Maybe you knew that. If I did, I forgot. So each year represents things in our lives, and we go through these cycles. So we have cycles all the time. We have seasonal, we have daytime, we have weekly cycles, we have personal cycles. All right, there's a lot there that can bring us these ups and downs. So finding ways to be grounded within it, to connect, to breathe, to feel your own body. Okay? Look around and see things when you're feeling really anxious. So I would look, like if I look at through the camera behind me, I see my beautiful pictures. I see the rainbow of this piece up behind me. I see my plants, my cute little cauldron. I see books. It asks me to take a deep breath as I look at these real things. I see the colors, of course, a lot of blue for me. The files, right? The papers. So you bring in that physical. There's a lot of physical things around me. Okay, so let's have a look at another card. Just chatting, we're just having a discussion, but maybe it brings up something for you. Feel welcome to share it if you want to, or just sit back, reflect, relax, take this time to breathe, to be with yourself, and to see what comes up for you around your own mental health, your wellness, your well-being. As I do some general cards on this subject matter and whatever else might want to come through the cards. So from the Gateway Oracle cards, we come into proceeding softly. Sensing a theme here, nourishing, taking care of self, proceeding softly. So here we see a lovely meal set up. tea set using the nice china, right? Taking care of ourselves, nourishing ourselves. We see maybe a beautiful walk through a lovely garden, looking at the flowers, looking at the trees, looking at, the sky, the sun, sitting down, pausing, focusing on what we're eating, taking the time to taste, to breathe, to pause, rather than gulp, 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 gulp the food down, not even chew, right? Pause, taste it. What does it taste like? What is the texture of the food? Is the beverage warm, cool, hot, cold? Take that time, bring your attention in. Proceeding softly, and it says, my inner power grows in moments of quietude. So your inner power grows, but also your capacity to listen to yourself and understand yourself. And remember, if one of the messages you're getting from yourself that is, we need some help in this subject matter, we need to work with someone, then please reach out. It doesn't have to be to me. Maybe it's to a therapist. Maybe it's to a good friend or a family member. Maybe it is to a medical practitioner. Maybe it is to somebody who does, your osteopath sessions, who you find it really supportive and useful. Maybe it is to somebody in a faith dimension that works for you. Find what works. So as you're listening, as you're proceeding softly, you're also going to get a chance to listen to some of that inner knowing, that inner understanding. And that's connected with your power, which gives you confidence, which gives you wellness, but also helps you to seek directions that are important for you. Let's do another one here. So I'm going to do, before I do that one, let me do a tarot. So it feels like it wants to bring up a challenge point that we might have. So hi to anybody tuning in. My name's Sheila. I'm BlueWater Oracle on all of my social media. Just having a conversation, doing some general cards, chatting about mental health, as it was a big subject this week in Canada. Feel welcome to share this, watch this later on. If you're watching on replay, please let me know. So when we talk about challenge points, this is like the mental health challenge card, I would say. So for anybody who knows tarot, you will be very familiar with the Nine of Swords. So swords can represent air, they can be intellect, mental capacities, they can be mindset, they can also be conflict. So if you're somebody who's really struggling, or if you know somebody who's really struggling with mental health concerns right now, this is a card that says, sitting alone and being on your own may not be the best thing that you need. And why is that? It's because you can't see through the window. You can't see what's going on. And what wants to come to you through the window that is valuable and good and helpful can't reach you because there's all this other stuff in the way. And sometimes this other stuff is real. And sometimes it is a perception of reality. And we all have it. We all have perceptions of reality all the time. But when it's perceptions of reality that can bring in harm, that can bring in concern, that can bring in self-damaging behaviors or damaging behaviors to others, then we need to pay attention. So on the other side of these swords, looking out the window, we've got the owl saying, hey, there is wisdom available. There is connection. There is life outside of this box. And maybe all you're going to do is take away one sword. So it's less intense, less of a conflict, less of a challenge, more of a support by chatting with somebody or getting the help you need. And that's why I love that some of the organizations I've seen around support, they offer text support now as well. Because not everybody can talk, and because we have all this wonderful technology now, we can use it. Talking has its benefits. Voicing it has benefits. But if that feels too heavy, too big, too challenging, then find a support helpline where you can send a text. I believe that Kids Help Phone in Canada does offer that, so you can check that out. Check them out here on Facebook. Okay, it's a great resource to give to your young people, to give to adults, other people you know as well. I've actually done text sessions with clients. So I offer straight text, which is where I get a subject, a question, and I will pull a card or two or three or whatever wants to come up, and I will text the answer, which is amazing. But I've also done text dialogue where we're actually having the session by text. I type stuff, they type stuff, I pull a card, send the picture, they reflect, we reflect back, we chat. It's amazing, it's fantastic. Different. So find what works for you. And that may be that sending a text to a friend, to a person of support, to a professional, to a helpline. If that's something that you need or somebody you know, remind them that it's okay to do. And it's absolutely, absolutely respectful and absolutely necessary. Why not take care of you? And what it may do is it may alleviate a bunch of these swords, or it may just take one sword out. And if anybody's ever played those stick games, remember the stick games where you put them in your hand and then you drop them, and then you got to pick one stick up at a time. But sometimes there's going to be one stick that when you pull it, everything will fall. And in the game, it's not what you want. But in this, if we can pull things and little by little, some of the conflict releases. Little by little, some of the internal battles get alleviated. It doesn't mean they all vanish in 1 second. Maybe they do. For some people it does. But it may just be that you can see through the window. You can see that next step. You can see that next point of support or of self-care, self-nurturing, self-support. Does that make sense? Let me know. Okay. So when the cards say they want to talk about conflict, they don't mess around. They go straight to the Nine of Swords. So you can find also what that Nine of Swords might represent to yourself around conflict. Where are you at conflict with yourself? Is it something you need to forgive yourself for or forgive someone else? Is it something you're carrying like baggage? Is it an issue that needs help to get resolved or to be able to work through? So you're not avoiding it, you're stepping into it and saying, okay, what is going on with this? What do I need to do? How do I do it one baby step at a time? So allow yourself to know what is that mental aspect that you need to be encouraging and figuring out. So I see the brain, the mind as us wanting to get into allyship with it. That's a term I say often for my clients. We want to get an allyship with our brains, with our minds, rather than trying to push them off to the side. Because what if the brain and the body and the heart and the spirit and the soul were all working together? Sorry about that, but see, ringing on the truth. Isn't that a phrase? I believe that's a phrase. I believe that's a phrase somebody says. So let me just click this off, and I believe that's going to get answered. There we go. Sorry about that. But it happens. It happens. Living in a different place with different things going on. I'm going to turn to the native spirit. So that tarot card was from the Gilded Tarot. If you have a tarot deck for yourself, you may find that it's a different image. But if it's a classic tarot, it should have a very similar meaning. But check in with it for yourself, right? You can pull cards for yourself on this too. And then we get Spirit Keeper of the North. So this card can, of course, like all the cards, mean different things for different people. My sense is that this is the reminder that even in the deep cold, even in the deep dark, there is light. So here the light is coming from reflection of the sun on the moon, and then the moon down onto the snow. It is an invitation that certain things need to be laid to rest. You don't need to carry them anymore. But that you, as you rest yourself, are allowing yourself to be prepared for the amazing that is coming. The warmth, the spring, the growth, the rebirth, the new connections, the reminding of what happens every series of seasons as we trek from winter into spring. And that might be a metaphor for you. Maybe you're not literally in winter going to spring. Maybe you don't have a lot of snow where you are. But there may be something about it that makes sense. Are you in a darker phase and you are trekking through it? Maybe you're hibernating. But maybe you're being reminded that, oh, look at that. There's fireflies in the dark. There's stars. Somebody's just sent a text and that's a flashlight. Maybe there's a lighthouse somewhere that's speaking to you. So in the north, there's a lot of wisdom, because for some, I believe it represents the elder, the wise person, and for others, it represents the beginning, that deep rest before the beginning. So isn't that an interesting transition? And remember, we all have those parts within ourselves. We have wise parts and we have beginning parts all the time. So what does it represent for you? And take care of you. Hi, Vanessa. So, a bit of a chat around mental health, mental wellness today, looking at different cards. If you're just tuning in, you can go back and have a look at it, go back and have a chat, and just seeing if there's one more card that wants to come up. I think there is, so I'm just seeing which deck. Mental health, earth magic, soul coaching. I think it's a soul coaching. Sorry, just trying to see which deck comes in. So neat, interesting cards, from the purification, our energy being cleansed, to the tree, the grounding, that reminder that mental health and wellness, there's a grounding, and as above, so below, that deep connection. Then proceeding softly, time to nurture, take care of ourselves. Maybe walk in the garden a little bit, get a good meal, have some water. And a reminder with the Nine of Swords that sometimes we can't see out the window, so we need to find that way just to get a little bit of a view, or to invite in a little bit of support. So maybe you can send a text to somebody if you can't call. Maybe you can send an email, or pick up the phone, call a helpline if you need to. Okay. So then we get from the soul coaching, then we got the Spirit Keeper of the North, talking a little bit about the dark with the light. And now we get to emerging. I have a feeling I got this card at the beginning of the year. I'll have to check back. Emerging. I am emerging into the light with joy and ease. So like all things, it reminds us of the journey of growth. Right? Up through the soil, through the mud, through the dark, push over the rock, move the stick that's in the way, and allow the seed to come up, to get the light, to get the rain, to get the nourishment, and reach up and emerge. And this is talking about joy and ease. But there may be a journey to get there. Hopefully you have reminders of those things every single day. So remind yourself to notice them. Is it the bright sun outside? Is it a pause where you reminded yourself to breathe? Is it a good meal? Is it a nice cup of tea? Is it working with an oracle card that supported you and made you feel connected and inspired? Maybe it was a great conversation with a friend, or a wonderful text that came just when you needed it. What are you emerging into? Allow yourself. And remember that emerging can come with tons of support from people, from friends, from spirit energy, from the universe, from systems that are around. And sometimes you have to ask. And you can ask your spirit team, you can ask your angels, hey, thank you for sending me all the support I need today to do this, to do that, to feel this, to feel that, to know this. Kyle Gray, who's an author and a speaker, often says that he'll chat with his angels and say, thank you for reminding me of your presence. Hi Tammy, welcome. Yeah, I'm just doing general cards today, so I was just having a general chat talking about mental health, which was a big subject here in Canada this week, as we have a special mental health day this past Wednesday where most people are talking about it. So I like to continue the conversation, and that's what I'm doing here today. So feel welcome to go back and look over the cards, see how they might resonate or bring something to you, and then let me know. All right, put a comment in. So I am going to leave you there, emerging in some kind of growth. Maybe you feel like you're still in the mud or in the fog, but recognize you're always emerging. And hopefully there's some reminder of joy and ease that you have in your day. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I look forward to hanging out with you next time. Please feel welcome to follow here on BlueWater Oracle. I'm also on, where am I? I am on most social media. So I am on Pinterest, BlueWater Oracle, on Twitter. What is the other one? What's the Instagram? That's the one I'm thinking of, Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel, so I might actually upload this to YouTube, see how much energy I have. Hi Lisa, I wanted to come on a little bit earlier today so that I was in good energy because my energy felt a bit wacky, and I appreciate you because by you allowing me to do what I love to do and what I feel so deeply moved to do, you help me, and I hope that in turn it helps you. Let me know. Send me a message, leave a comment if this is something that you appreciated. I would love to hear. It will do a world of good for me today. So, bless you. May you feel that joy and ease today and that reminder of light for yourself. Take care. Until next time. Have a great weekend. Bye.